As Chancellor of the University, I declare this congregation open to the conferring of degrees by the authority of the Senate and Council.
As Vice-Chancellor of the University, I am delighted to welcome you all to this degree congregation. It is a celebration for all those who graduate today. We celebrate your many achievements that culminate in the award of a degree from a major international research and teaching-led university that is in the top 20 UK universities in National League tables created by the press. All degree ceremonies are special to the individuals who graduate. This is a special degree ceremony for postgraduates. It provides strong evidence for the Financial Times' statement that we are the leading UK provider of postgraduate taught courses. Indeed, I hope that some of you will wish to continue your education by studying with us for a doctoral degree. Many of you have combined work with part-time study by distance learning, an approach that may well appeal to parents and friends who will also wish to join those of you graduating today. And certainly, if parents and friends wish to indicate to us that they would like to sign up with the University of Leicester at the end of this ceremony, we shall be pleased to oblige. And you too can be on your way to a degree ceremony starting next week. But what kind of university is Leicester? This year we have 19,000 students, 50% of whom are postgraduates, which is a unique feature in the UK. But what are our other characteristics? We are a research-intensive university contributing to the knowledge-based economy. We win prizes for our research, and we are delighted that our Department of Genetics has won the Queen's Anniversary Prize for Higher and Further Education this year, an award given to only 20 institutions in the UK. We are in the top 10 universities in the UK for the research grant and contract income received for each full-time member of staff. Teaching is at the forefront of our activities, and let us make no mistake about it, it is closely linked with research. I say that because there have been statements on the future of higher education this week that suggest there is a separation between those. I think not. It has also been regarded as excellent by all independent assessors who have visited departments and indicated that all those departments have reached standards of excellence in teaching over the last 3 years. We are actively involved in widening access and widening participation by attracting people from different social groups to the university, in order that they may share in the success in which we are involved. We meet and exceed our benchmarks that are set nationally. We engage in 2-year foundation degrees and have just started this January a foundation degree in health and illness in conjunction with a further education college. Here, someone joining the programme this January could, within 6 years, become a doctor, having transferred to our medical degree. I think that's a very exciting example of widening access and progression. But most importantly, it's not just good enough for higher education to recruit more students, you also have to retain them. And you are great evidence today of our success in that area, as we are one of the leading UK universities with the smallest dropout rates in the country. And that is very successful. Now, many of these features that I've associated with the University of Leicester also will figure strongly in the national debate about the future of higher education that has been initiated by the Secretary of State this week. The media, quite properly, have focused attention on student finance, but the white paper covers far greater territory: research, teaching, widening participation, and many other areas. This country will have to face up to a number of serious questions about what kind of higher education system we want over the next 10 to 15 years. Internally, the University of Leicester will have to decide what its priorities should be in the coming years. This will lead us, nationally and locally, to consider a series of fundamental questions. And it seems to me the key ones are these: the role of fundamental research in our universities and what in Leicester our research priorities should be. The importance of teaching excellence, not teaching alone, but teaching excellence backed by research and scholarship. Our relationships with further education and also with higher education providers. How can we create a more dynamic system? And certainly on my list, last but certainly not least, the role of universities in their regions and the way in which the University of Leicester can contribute actively to economic regeneration and improve the quality of life for people in this region. Certainly, the University of Leicester has much to contribute, and I hope that many of you will take the opportunity to contribute to the national debate and to write to the Secretary of State. It is your university system that is being decided upon, not a university system that only belongs to a privileged few. We have to decide how we want the system to be shaped. Finally, I would like to congratulate you all on the degrees you have obtained. We hope you will keep in touch with the university, and I shall look forward to seeing you at alumni events. But before I close, I would like you to join me in showing your appreciation to your parents, relatives, friends and sponsors who have supported you through the university. So I would now ask the graduating class of 2003 to join me in a round of applause for all those people. That's terrific. We have in the summer a little competition going between all the faculties, and I always say each January, I think you need to show that you can clap louder and longer than any of those that occur in the summer. And so from that point of view, I hope you have a very enjoyable day, applaud your fellow students, and all good wishes to you all in your future careers.
Bishop Tim Stevens has spent his life building bridges. A passionate advocate of partnership between church and community, Tim is a major force leading the Church of England towards full engagement with the economic, social and political life of this country. Tim Stevens grew up in a clerical family in Chigwell and attended the local school. He gained a place at Cambridge to read classics at an early age. A gap year teaching Latin and cricket to bemused Zambians helped him develop confidence and skills. Tim played a full part in college life, but did not at that stage consider a career in the church. He attended the inevitable milk round and gained a post as a management trainee with the British Overseas Airways Corporation. Dispatched abroad almost immediately, he learnt rapidly how to handle responsibility and to get complex jobs done efficiently, skills which proved invaluable in his later career. He gained a place in the Foreign Service, but during his initial posting in London, spending his time writing reports on Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, he came under the influence of the charismatic vicar of St. Martin in the Fields, Austin Williams. whose church was a focus for a wide range of social and political action. Tim became increasingly involved in the work of the church, undertaking a range of voluntary activities, and began to feel a growing vocation. His feelings were brought into sharp focus when he was asked by his masters in government to set up a lunch at the Ritz, of all places, to discuss grain aid for the starving people of Bangladesh. Confirmed in his vocation, he left the service and studied for the Oxford Diploma in Theology, prior to ordination as a curate in East Ham, at that time a deprived inner-city area with a diverse multicultural population. Working with an exceptionally active team, Tim became involved in a whole range of initiatives, including English language courses for Asian women, the reconstruction of the church with a community centre on site, and ever-strengthening links between church and community. He moved from East Ham to Canvey Island, a small, deprived community surrounded by a sea wall, with enormous potential for isolation. He immediately set about the building of partnerships with this community. He made strong links to social services and children's services, and developed a family centre attached to the church, which still flourishes today. It was about this time that the Church of England produced its document, Faith in the City, a critical re-examination of the role of the church in the urban environment. As a man at the forefront of these developments, Tim was selected for a special post as a bishop's officer back in his old stamping ground of East London, and spent 3 years working to great effect at the boundaries between church and society. He was instrumental in over 40 community projects and became a leading member of a network of churchmen across the country, working to ensure that churches engage with their local communities. Tim continued his work as Archdeacon of East Ham, drawing upon his skills in management to motivate and mobilise colleagues working in one of the most rapidly changing areas of the capital. Having spent his clerical career entirely in an urban setting, Tim was then moved to rural Suffolk as suffragan Bishop of Dunwich, a small medieval town comprising little more than a church, a pub, and a chip shop. Rising to this new challenge, he worked to build links across the region, playing a major role in the newly established Regional Development Agency and building a community and voluntary forum. Recognised by his fellow bishops as expert in the relationships between church and society, he played an increasing national role that has developed further since his appointment as Bishop of Leicester in 1999. His time in Leicester has coincided with the dramatic revitalisation of community partnerships. Bishop Stevens has engaged with a wide range of local organisations, including local economic partnerships, the Leicester Regeneration Company, and leaders of local faiths, to construct a vibrant network of links playing a major role in the regeneration of the city community. He works tirelessly to communicate at all levels. Renowned as a public speaker, Tim spends time with audience of all types, spreading his message of partnership between church and society. Nationally, Tim Stevens is president of the Council of the Children's Society and bishop to this society. He chairs the House of Bishops Urban Panel, and most recently was a member of the commission to appoint the new Archbishop of Canterbury. Known widely as a man of action within the church, the Right Reverend Tim Stevens takes literally the derivation of the word bishop, bridge builder, constructing links between church and community. No doubt, there are many more initiatives to come. Mr. Chancellor, on the recommendation of the Senate and the Council, I present the Right Reverend Timothy John Stevens, that you may confer upon him the Honorary Degree of Doctor of Letters.
Chancellor, it's a great personal privilege to be honoured with this degree in this university. I want to thank the Senate and the Council for the invitation to receive this degree, and the public orator for his over-generous remarks. This is a special day for all of us here, most especially for each one of you, because it's a celebration of the real and outstanding achievement you have made in gaining your postgraduate qualifications in a whole range of subjects. And my pride in being here today is immeasurably increased by the fact that my daughter takes her master's degree in this ceremony this morning. As the Vice-Chancellor has mentioned, this has been a week in which university education has been constantly the top story in the news. And behind all the debate, there is a question: what are universities for? I'm not going to attempt in the 2 minutes left to me to answer that question, but I want to make a suggestion to you, that if you have your photograph taken today, you find somewhere prominent to put it up wherever you live. And I hope you'll find opportunity in the years ahead to look at that photograph from time to time and ask yourself some questions about this experience. Did it help me take responsibility for the direction of my life? Did it help me shape my beliefs about what is important for my world? Did it help me understand others with whom I now work or live? And above all, did it touch my imagination and do something to inspire me? And I hope and believe that you will be able to answer yes to at least some of those questions. I say that because it seems to me that at the heart of what university education is about is learning the habit of learning itself, and above all, learning how to reflect on our lived experience. And that is why I feel honored to receive this degree today, because by some way the most important learning of my life has been the 4 years I've spent as Bishop of Leicester. This is a city in which human beings of different cultures and creeds and languages and ways of life are learning to cross the fundamental human divides that threaten the whole human race. This really is a city of learning, with this university as a place of learning at its heart. And as the possibility of war threatens us all, this is the learning that matters more than any other. So I want to thank this university for the growing and developing role it plays in our city and our county, and nationally and internationally. I want to congratulate each one of you for all that you have achieved, and I want to wish you well for the future, especially that you may go on discovering how to reflect on what happens to you and to learn the really important lessons for life from it.
The graduands in the Faculty of the Social Sciences will be presented by the Acting Dean, Dr. Carter. Will all graduands in the faculty please stand?
Mr. Chancellor, I ask you to admit these candidates from the Faculty of Social Sciences to the several degrees for which they are presented.
Graduates of the Faculty of the Social Sciences, by the authority of the Senate, I admit you to the several degrees for which you are presented.
For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, Gillian Allard.
Admitted degree, Doctor of Philosophy. Congratulations. Well done.
Mamet Arakan. Brian Fields. Mary Glasser. Anthony Judge. Leah Mandelsis. Penelope Upton. And Alexandra Wynne. For the degree of Master of Arts in Criminology, Shabnam Nawaz. Asan Tangara. For the degree of Master of Arts in Diplomatic Studies, Georgina Banks. Gary Blackmore. Hobe Lathowers. Nazariah Osmond. Laura Pogson. Henry Stewart. For the degree of Master of Arts in European Politics, Manjit Danjal. Sarah Farina. For the degree of Master of Arts in Globalisation and Communications, Sangmin Cho. Lisa Gray. Tatiana Tassini. Hao Tsai. For the degree of Master of Arts in International Economic History, Anne Murphy. For the degree of Master of Arts in International Relations and World Order, Akar Alkan. Bethan Gold. Pragya Joshi. Noashi Suzuki. For the degree of Master of Arts in Mass Communications, Sharif Abudu. Chai Chan. Pin Hung Cheng. Caroline Dickman. Xiao Feng. Maria Giorgio. Victoria Hope. Amika Azizi. Stamatina Kaivariotti. Miao Li. Yabing Luo. Regina Mbakini. Alexandros Melidis. Nidi Munian. Adeyemi Obalangi. Leslie Obon. Ayodele Alrulfimi. Essa Al-Ruwai. Rory O'Sullivan. Arini Palatiano. Foteni Tasuli. And Josie Whiteley. For the degree of Master of Arts in Social Work, Alison Burrows-Smith. For the degree of Master of Arts in Urban History, Samantha Elliott. Jeanette Fowler. Anne Mitchell. And Claire Townsend. For the degree of Master of Business Administration, Laila Abuel Wafa. Gordon Adobo. Anthony Aduasuming. Vasilio Azuroulis. Faith Ashiade. Yuko Asso. Cherry Ao Young. Fidelis Avogo. Christiana Mamatis. Shan Bar. Matthew Barmett. Neville Barnes. John Bayoke Mensah. Anna Brantham. Gareth Can. Gordon Chan. Stephen Chen. Ulan Rawaju Koka. Nikolaos Efthimiou. Shani Gunaratna. Lone Grand. Philip Gaisi Apaya. Shu Han. Kazuaki Haino. Atsushi Higashi. Shui Hal Shui. Pin Cheng Huang. Abdulmayin Hook. Javed Hussain. Sohail Khalil. Jonathan Langman. Vicky Lau. Wao Leung. Ye Leung. Shu Lin Liao. Mavdvi Lukputia. Raymond Maxwell. Avagilia Irini Moraiti. Khan Nguyen Kwok. John Nunn. Ademola Bembi. Arabo Agokan. Monica Osunday. Kevin Page. Nicholas Papadopoulos. Stavrula Papakonstantino. Mahesh Pereira. Beverly Smith. Mark Stafford. Stella Suen. Pe Chi Tang, Madura Vadgama, Ting Wen, Nicolaus Willemser, Ikugo Yamanaka, and Ling Yang. For the Master of Business Administration, Employee Relations, Lala Aluyi, Jonathan Harris. For the degree of Master of Business Administration, Employee Relations, Gwendolyn Lawrence, Abu Endura. For the degree of Master of Business Administration, Finance, Yusuf Ali, Viraj Balapitia Moderidge, Charles Burko, Jagannath Das, Ehab Halsadani, Tariq Halawani, Yuliang Su, Xu Chen Hung, Yera Yame, Niranjan Janke, Mamadou Kony, Julie Grents, Ben Quing Lin, Nainoli Loco, Antigone Milakuri, Deborah Niako, Johnson Awari, Chung Pong, Ananda Sarath Kumara, Henry So, Liai Yan, and Heol Yang. For the degree of Master of Business Administration, Healthcare Management, Gillian Simpson. For the degree of Master of Business Administration, Information Technology Management, Eric Asuado. Mu Chan. Yi Hua Chan. Aldo Gretsch. Ming Lin. Yuan Lin. Jyoti Singh. Yanis Saikas. Akif Tashkandi. Muhammad Touray. And Rex Wong. For the degree of Master of Business Administration, Maritime Management, Stavros Tsalis. For the degree of Master of Business Administration, Marketing, Janice Axon. Kofi Anda. Joa Preku. Alice Chan. Wei Yun Chen. Ramon Chow. Sarah Cornell. Yingxi Dong. Fawaz Halwani. Azair Khan. Christopher Kwasi Donkor. Shu Lee. Huan Nguyen. Grain O'Donnell. Enoma Ogboma. Karina Patelli. Emmett Sahin. Yunko Sakumo. Tai Shi. Rim Trebelsi. Wei Wang. Chaminda Wiratunga. Sinan Yavuz. Taimur Yavuz Turk. Katerina Safiropoulou. For the degree of Master of Business Administration, Supply Chain Management, Ian Trowell. Gerard Voot. For the degree of Master of Business Administration, Total Quality Management, Chun Chung. Stephen Craig. Huda Hamed. Stefan Nilsson. Si Say.
The English language is complex. It contains far more words than any other language. One result is that there are many words which mean virtually the same thing, but with nuances and fine distinctions. This can cause problems for those learning it. Can you explain the difference between client and customer? Do you give up on or abandon a project? The major reason for this wealth of words is that English is a mongrel language. It contains elements derived from the different waves of migrants and invaders that have settled this island, Anglo-Saxons, Vikings, and Normans, as well as Latin-based additions from medieval learning and later accruals from the days of empire. The language contains elements from many sources. So too do the place names of England. The names of towns, fields, and geographical features record the patterns of settlement of the several waves of migrants and invaders and contain much valuable information on the date of arrival and geographical distribution of these different peoples. For example, I happen to have an interest in one Sir Edmund Craddock Hartop, which are familiar names to those who know South Leicester. In the early years of the 19th century, he owned Knighton Hall, now the official residence of our Vice-Chancellor. He owned much else besides, mainly in Leicestershire. He owned land in Aston Flamville, Brentingby, Burton Lazars, Eye Kettleby, Knighton, Newbold Verdon, Sutton Coldfield, and Wyfordby. These names are informative. The ton ending, T-O-N, is Anglo-Saxon, denoting a settlement. Thus, the Flamville family owned the manor of Aston, meaning the eastern settlement, in the early medieval period. Burton Lazars was the site of a leper hospital, a lazaret. The by ending, by, is Danish, also denoting a settlement, and is very common in the East Midlands. Eye Kettleby is the settlement of a Dane named Kettle. The affix I occurs because it lies on the River Eye and distinguishes it from the nearby Ab Kettleby. Newbold is the new building, i.e. the new house, owned by the Verdon family. The preeminent scholar of English place names today is the graduand here presented to you, Margaret Geylang, Officer of the Order of the British Empire, Master of Arts in the University of Oxford, Doctor of Philosophy of the University of London, Fellow of the Society of Antiquaries, Fellow of the British Academy. She is a past president of the English Place Name Society and also a former member of the Communist Party. Margaret Geylang was born in Manchester and read English at St Hilda's College, Oxford, where she clearly found the language, especially Old English, fascinating. After leaving Oxford, she spent 7 years as a research assistant for the English Place Name Society, but since then has been a freelance researcher. In the 1960s and the 1970s, she and her colleagues were the Young Turks of place name studies. Unlike the original Young Turks, their revolution prevailed. One result of their work is the idea that philology is not enough. To use place name evidence to the full, it must be combined with geographical and even geological evidence. Thus, they observed that many of the Danish settlement names in the East Midlands were located on poorer land, suggesting that they were founded by later migrants rather than by the victorious Viking thugs of the Great Army. They also noted that topographical names, those describing a feature of the landscape, were remarkably consistent from Kent to Northumberland, suggesting a much greater homogeneity of the early English settlers than is generally believed to be the case. Margaret Geylang has published many books. Her Signposts to the Past, first published in 1978 and now in its third edition, opened up place name studies to historians and archaeologists. Its subtitle is significant: Place Names and the History of England. The Landscape of Place Names, published in 2000, continues the theme of place names in their context. She has also produced several volumes of the county-by-county survey of place names, published by the English Place Name Society. Margaret Geylang is an indefatigable teacher. She travels the country delivering public lectures, often in small villages. She feels very strongly about the value of teaching to adults and does much evening lecturing for the University of Birmingham, which made her an honorary reader in 1981. She has been a great support to and a friend of this university's Centre for English Local History, and those students use her work extensively. She was created OBE for her work in 1995, and in 1998 was elected a Fellow of the British Academy, the historian's equivalent of the Scientist Fellow of the Royal Society. One final thought. The study of place names is not only a study of Dark Age and medieval England, but of the whole period of history. In Staffordshire we find Etruria. Port Sunlight lies in Cheshire. These are modern settlements. What do their names signify? What of Spaghetti Junction? And I do wonder what future students of place names will make of the location on the A50 just south of Derby, where the road signs point proudly to Toyota. Mr. Chancellor, on the recommendation of the Senate and of the Council, I present Margaret Joy Geylang, that you may confer upon her the Honorary Degree of Doctor of Letters.
I give you the degree of Doctor of Letters. We welcome you very much. Very many congratulations.
There's no need to explain what I do and why I do it, because Dr. Gurman has done that for me. So I would like to use my 3 minutes to offer a few thoughts about the study of history. There's no doubt that a great many people want to know about the past. The present spate of history programs on television and radio makes that clear. It is gratifying to see that the popularizers supply information which is generally sound, and they often show awareness of current research and thinking. But I sometimes feel that more credit might be given to the people who do the research and thinking. And as regards the history of England, a great deal of it is done in your Department of English Local History. It is the results of slow, patient work in such centres which is summarised and dressed up with reconstructions on our television screens. The desire for contact with the past is one of the basic cravings of the human spirit, and it has been a privilege to spend my life making a small contribution to that. It's most gratifying to have the evidence of today's ceremony that other historians feel that my contribution has some value. Sometimes, when you are enjoying a prestigious TV program, I hope you will spare a thought for the people outside the limelight whose endeavours supply the information and the revisions of interpretation. It is their work which keeps history alive and vibrant. Thank you.
The remaining graduands in the Faculty of the Social Sciences will now be presented by the Acting Dean, Dr. Carter.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, for the degree of Master of Science in Applied Criminology, Joanna Andronikou. Gashina Matsat. Catherine Painter. For the degree of Master of Science in Business Analysis and Finance, Fuzia Amin. Vasiliki Chalkia. Evangelos Falounis. Shozian Feng. Tian Gan. Lailai Jiang. Mikhail Karaglu. Wei Liang. Rakesh Majithia. Chakwu Oga. Apayemi Alawumi. Yan Shao. Konstantinos Siftis. Guanjia Tu. Tian Wang. Stephen Widdicks. Wai Zhao. For the degree of Master of Science in Clinical Criminology, Tahira Akram. Amanda Beacall. Daniel Burris. Roslyn Campbell. Ellen Hodgkins. Cassandra Kenning. Philippa Meyer. Anne McLaughlin. Julie Mills. Esther Oldham. Janika Patel. Rupinder Ralawal. Johanna Rudland. Maria Adimu. Louisa Simiaku. For the degree of Master of Science in Criminal Justice and Police Management, Benjamin Namanya. For the degree of Master of Science in Criminal Justice Studies, Samuel Akurimi. Gregory Barker. Duncan Burridge. Edith Crawford. Emma Newton. Adelaide Omisha. Andrew Pennick. Stella Scantlebury. And Bridget Ewat. For the degree of Master of Science in Criminology, Melanie Alderson. Bada El Shady. Abdullah Al Tamimi. Tammy Ayres. Celine Benvenuto. Alison Bradley. Martin Duffy. Hannah Goodman. Maria Macariti. Kelly Mackey. Anne Christian Olsen. Christopher Pashley. Manreet Sal. Sugdef Tind. Sultana Sarko. For the degree of Master of Science in Economics, Boddan Hagio. Ono Zakoji. For the degree of Master of Science in Finance, Theodora Avlaniti. Mark Bennett. Avagelia Bouzdra. Graziella Busitil. Shao Kao. Vivian Chow. Wen Chen. Kai Chen. Xiao Chung. Andrew Chukwumika. Yuho Dung. Osaji Ahiji. Zhenghu Fan. Minyi Hung. Shalene Johnson. Coleman Kajau. Koji Kitamura. Minxia Lin. Elterios Liamokolos. Amandeep Malhi. Rajinder Man. Kinyanji Mburu. Spiros Mugianos. Ostina Mine. Vincent Mifsud. Kay Ning. Matthew O'Connor. Mark Smith. Chaspal Sumal. Yazdef Shran. Ming Ting. Sujun Wu. Ketin Zhang. For the degree of Master of Science in Financial Economics, Petros Atas. Alexandra Ianu. Michael Rossos. And Lloyd Sutton. For the degree of Master of Science in Human Geography, Rachel Albone. Christopher Paddock. Karen Vartapetov. For the degree of Master of Science in International Development and Finance, Simeon Coleman. For the degree of Master of Science in Management, Dalveen Dadvar. Satvan Dillon. Scott Duncan. Holly Edwards. Manjinder Gill. Imogen Hetherington. Stephen Horsley. Nikolitsa Kanopoulou. Annie Lau. Elterios Lefsperidis. Connie Ngai. Triantafilus Nikolopoulos. Jajit Jatpanasar. Angelos Papadakis. George Papastigiro. Ranjan Palmer. Rakesh Pruti. Maria Pisilaki. Michael Roper. Rosina Sidhu. Bimal Verma. And Jun Zhang. For the degree of Master of Science in Marketing, Sapna Balgobin. James Bartram. Seema Begum. Yu Kai. Kwan Kao. Chao Chen. Yu Chun Chen. Kwan Chiu. Yi Chuang. Ismini Fatsi. Tormud Felgard. Minal Gaddavi. Rita Jaswal. Wei Ying. Christina Caraccialio. Lin Kay. Sammy Kabizo. Oliver Kyriakidis. Sing Mai Lin. Vicky Lin. Hong Liu. Yang Liu. Yang Jia Liu. Wen Lu. Stephanie Marku. Chu Mururu. Mark Payne. Nectarios Patarakis. Yaprak Rogers. Rupal Shah. Sopapun Siramonga. Zoe Stevens. Laura Stewart. Rapinda Taka. Yan Tang. Bai Tao. Yang Wang. John Wardlaw. Rachel White.
Congratulations.
Shao Shui Wu,
Congratulations.
Yan Shui,
Congratulations.
Vasiliki Sisaki.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Political Research, Adam Duardi.
Congratulations.
Mark Glavi,
Congratulations.
Neslihan Khalilha,
Congratulations.
Laura Stewart.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Public Order Studies, Paul Doubley.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Risk, Crisis and Disaster Management, Douglas Borthwick.
Congratulations. Bravo.
Kevin Pollock.
Congratulations.
Michael Rutherford.
Congratulations.
And Marion Ward.
Congratulations.
Harris Everipadu.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Security and Organisational Risk Management, Mohammed El Haram.
Congratulations.
Tina Langworth.
Congratulations.
Alan Merrick.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Security and Risk Management, Collins Chikomba.
Congratulations.
Alan Durant.
Congratulations.
Gregory Hurd.
Congratulations.
James Lurie.
Congratulations.
Nigel Markham.
Congratulations. Thank you.
John Shrembry.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Security Management, Deborah Abraham.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Patrick Grant.
Congratulations.
Koos Stouthammer.
Congratulations.
Stephen Story.
Congratulations.
And Joan Thompson.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Social Research, Lorna Gibbons.
Congratulations.
Estelle Phillips.
Congratulations.
Rachel Stevens.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Sociology of Sport, Physical Education, Jacqueline Barnes.
Congratulations.
Will Bowen Jones.
Congratulations.
Richard Bowles.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Sociology of Sport, Sports Management, Mario Ramati.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in the Management of Quality Excellence, Colin Fenton.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Training, Vicky Bennett.
Congratulations.
Paula Cashin.
Congratulations.
Pierre Cassar.
Congratulations.
Denise Haslam.
Congratulations.
Colin Morton.
Congratulations.
And Derek Welsh.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Training and Human Resource Management, Eliasa Abdullah.
Congratulations.
Maria Bartoli Gallia.
Congratulations.
Noreen Coyne.
Congratulations.
Joseph Kutajar.
Congratulations.
Sandra Dillon.
Congratulations.
Elizabeth Dixon.
Congratulations.
Mary Duffy.
Congratulations.
Clara Gardiner.
Congratulations.
Peter Gretsch.
Congratulations.
Annette Kelleher.
Congratulations. Hello.
Helen Kwan.
Congratulations.
Pat Ledworth.
Congratulations.
Yeok Liao.
Congratulations.
Rona Murray.
Congratulations.
Soon Pang.
Congratulations.
Sumarthi Selvadure.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Training and Performance Management, Fiona Baker.
Congratulations.
Sandy Coles.
Congratulations.
David Halliwell.
Congratulations.
Linda Harley.
Congratulations.
Andrew Hames.
Congratulations.
Sally Little.
Congratulations.
Kevin Lovell.
Congratulations.
Ian McDonnell.
Congratulations.
Terry Maloney.
Congratulations.
Carol Renshaw.
Congratulations.
William Struthers.
Congratulations.
Julie Toher.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Finance, Adeniki Olwakandi.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Science in Business Administration, Victor Jarkov.
Congratulations.
For the degree of Master of Business Administration Marketing, Daisy Benjamin.
Congratulations. Well done.
Mr. Vice-Chancellor, I ask you to admit to the several degrees for which they are presented by my faculty those candidates who are absent.
By the authority of the Senate, I admit those candidates who are absent to the several degrees for which they are presented.
I suspect that not all of you here know what a Chancellor does. In that, you're not alone. In fact, Chancellors come in many forms, such as the Chancellor of the Exchequer, who handles the finances, and the Lord Chancellor, who deals with the law. In some American universities, the Chancellor combines both these tasks and many more. He is really an important man or woman. So my American colleagues are very impressed when they hear that I am the Chancellor of Leicester. They say, "I thought you were retired." So I hasten to explain that my role is like that of the Queen. I have to dress up on imposing ceremonial robes and to appear on important occasions. In fact, the Queen and I will, so to speak, be performing together at Buckingham Palace next month, when, as the Vice-Chancellor has told you, Leicester will be among those receiving the Queen's anniversary prizes. So it is my pleasant duty to preside over degree ceremonies such as today's and shake hands with the new graduates. The increasing success and growth of Leicester University does mean that the number of hands to be shaken escalated to the point where I had to borrow a spare hand, that of the Vice-Chancellor. But I assure you that the value of your well-earned degree is unaffected by who shakes your hand. On these occasions, the university, in addition to awarding the usual degrees for which examinations have to be passed or dissertations written, also awards honorary degrees in recognition of outstanding achievements in later life. And in adding my own congratulations to our honorary graduates, I hope their presence here will serve as an inspiration to the younger graduates today, indicating some of the ways in which you might be able to make your mark in the world. And perhaps in a few decades' time, some of you may be back on this rostrum for a further handshake from one of my successors. For all of you who have graduated the hard way, this is your big day, not only for yourselves, but for your family, friends, and teachers, whose support in various ways has been an important factor in your success. As a parent myself, I remember the feeling of satisfaction and relief that accompanied graduation. Let me in particular congratulate the many mature students who have graduated here today. Of course, you are all mature, but some are more mature than others. So tomorrow you all face the world with a new qualification under your belt. The question is, what will you aim to do with it? Save the world or get rich quick? Or perhaps both, or something in between? You have a wide and interesting choice. But what sort of world is the 21st century going to be? The 20th century saw 2 horrific world wars and many minor ones. But it also saw a transformation in living styles and standards for many, brought about by spectacular scientific discoveries and their technological applications. A few years ago, at the dawn of the new century, many of us thought that humanity had learnt its lesson, and a new and more beneficent era was about to unfold. We hoped that the great improvements that modern science has made possible will be spread more widely and more equitably around the world, and that armed conflict would be a thing of the past, something we had grown out of. Unfortunately, every newspaper headline, every TV broadcast tells us that these hopes have not been fulfilled. Even worse, the future scenario that our political leaders put before us envisages no change or improvement. We are, it appears, going to live in some kind of permanent crisis, with all that entails in terms of constraints on normal life. It is not a pleasant prospect. But the future belongs not to the older generation who are currently in charge. It belongs to you, who are now starting out on your life's quest, or perhaps making a new start. It is up to you to make your contribution for a better world. As university graduates, you've had the benefit of a sound education, the chance to acquire skills, and the opportunity of mixing with others from different backgrounds and countries. Above all, you have been taught to think for yourselves, to question the received wisdom of tribal elders. With the large expansion of university education worldwide, you now represent a significant fraction of the world population, and you will collectively be responsible for the future of the world. Youth has 2 enormous advantages: optimism and idealism. The young are not weighed down by past cares and have a natural tendency to look on the rosy side. They've also not acquired the skepticism of their elders. Some would say they have not yet learnt the hard realities of life. So where would we be without idealism? So my message is, keep your idealism and your optimism. The one gives you goals worth aiming for, the other keeps up your spirits during the hard struggle. I now declare this congregation closed.